So welcome again, and also happy World Day for Theatre for Young Children. This is an association with ACER South Africa. And as you know, today we are celebrating World Day for Young Children. And so young children are spending the day watching theatre and also doing a lot of community activities. I'm going to be introducing Deepti Yadav, who is an educator. She's also a philanthropist, and she is also going to be heading this story session for today. If you can put your audio off up until you have a question. But for now, I'm going to give it to Dipti, and Dipti, you can take it away.
Thank you, Quenelle. Am I audible enough for everyone?
Yes, you are audible. We can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. And I believe it's World Theatre Day and project that Quenelle is doing. So, in theatre, we talk a lot about lights, right? So, let me play around some lights. Quenelle, can you allow the sharing of the screen?
Okay, I've allowed.
All of you can see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, I hope, let me reshare it. Okay. I hope you can see the screen now.
Yes, we can see bubbles.
Okay. Give me a moment. I think I'll have to do it again. Give me a second. I've stopped sharing. I hope you can see the screen now, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now, let me play around a little bit with lights. Let me turn on my camera because we talk a lot about theater and we talk about lights. Yeah. So let's start with the story. Okay, I can hear some background noise.
Okay, let me just see.
Okay.
Okay, please, I think Demakato, please mute.
Okay, let me start with the story. So today's story is themed around deep water. The World Storytelling Day celebrates one theme annually, and this year's theme is deep water. So let me start with the story. Have you ever had a dream so big that feels it's so big, it's very far away? A dream that feels like a bubble. You are observing it and you are trying to hold it, and it bursts the moment you try to grab. Why? Because it's a dream you need to strive towards, but you don't know how. How can I grab this dream? Because it's more like a bubble. Let me tell you a story of a boy aging in his 30s, living in a city called Bhopal, the city of lakes, somewhere in India. So, like all stories start, once upon a time. Nah, that's old way. It's not once upon a time. Year 2019. Let me tell you story of a boy, little bold, but quite a shy, with a dream that felt like a bubble. How to realize this dream? That was the trouble. Together, let's hear more the story, The Boy at the Shore. So, what was the dream and who was this boy? Now, this boy was an educationist by profession, but a philanthropist in actions. But the dream was, what was the dream? The dream was to get into water, to swim the length, to soar higher than the waves. But, but all he could do was sit and watch, admiringly glancing and captivated by those swimmers who swam in the lake, gazing with ambitions at the other side of the lake. It's beautiful. There was a statue in that lake called King Bhoth statue at the other side of the lake, and he would keep looking at it. And people in the lake swam till there, in the lake called the Upper Lake. The boy sat at the shore silently, and this beautiful shore was built with red bricks. And there was a holy temple behind these steps from where the chantings and mantras you can hear easily. People of the city called this shore where the boy sat, it was called as Cool Garden Lake because there was a nice green lush garden behind it. Now our silent observer, the boy, just sat there on the stairs, feeling the cool breeze that hit his face. Yet there was a restlessness. He could see the water dancing with the morning rays. There was silver lining all over the water. But our boy, he was watching and wondering, is it possible? How do these people, these swimmers breathe such a long distance? Don't they feel breathlessness? What if I try? What if I drown? No, no, no. But how can I swim like them? He would keep thinking. Every morning, he arrived at this cool garden lake shore and he just sat. Not in the swim gear, no swimsuit, goggles, or swimming cap, but charmed. All curious, excited, apprehensive, fidgeting, but alarmed. Not with the confidence of the swimmer who cut through the waves with ease, enchanted at the shore, but with doubt. He was all seized. How long did it go on? What do you think? For days? No. For weeks? No. For months? Years. He was visiting there regularly, but I can't swim that long. He would greet and cheer people when they would finish their swims. He would help them in any possible manner. When the swimmers went for their swim, he would look after their, bags, footwear, everything. After they finished their swim, hey, swimmer, you are out of breath. You need water? He would rush with the water. That was the boy at the shore. Fascinated by the smiles of the swimmer, the boy at the shore, he was gradually he began becoming very regular and friendly face. Now, he was, as he was getting friendlier, he began clicking pictures of those swimmers when they finished their swims. These swimmers were triathletes. You know, triathletes who swim, bike, and run. This boy on the land, he could, run and he could bike. But swimming? No, 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 no. Gradually, he began stepping forward on the shore, on the steps, and he began to become a part of those pictures. And in those group photos, somewhere he began feeling the belongingness. That was the only way he could be a part of what he longed for actually. He knew every swimmer in those pictures, and each swimmer gradually began understanding what fascinated the boy that he's coming here. Now, his face spoke loudly of his desire, but also of the great fear that he had inside. He wanted to thrive, no doubt about it. He wanted to soar high, no doubt about it. But the boy didn't know how to swim. Now, there was a promise that changed everything. May 2019. One day, something happened. Like in all stories, something happened. As the swimmers were packing their bags after their training, there was a gentleman who went up to this boy. Now, this gentleman was into defense, Brigadier Rajesh Joshi. He kept cheering and pushing people to grab their dreams. You can do it. He had been observing this boy for quite a while. And somewhere deep down, he knew what this boy longed for. Brigadier Joshi knew what twinkled in this boy's eyes. He could sense the apprehension and the hesitation. He saw the boy for a while. He saw in the boy what other missed. He had just returned from his swim from the King Bhoth statue in the lake. He kept looking at the boy and then gradually he went near him. He went close to him and said, "Come." He kept his hand on his shoulder and it took him 2 steps down on the shore, on those stairs. He pointed his finger to King Bho's statue and said, "Next year, तुझे 7 swim करना है Raja Bhoj तक." What he meant, next year you have to swim along to King Bho's statue. The boy froze for a while. He looked at the face of Brigadier Joshi. Till there. And somehow he saw such belief in his eyes. He didn't believe himself, but he saw some belief in his eyes. Yet the fact was, that he was not able to swim even 50 meters, even in a pool, 25 meters. He didn't know swimming at all. How could he swim that far, the other end? But those words by Brigadier Joshi, it began echoing in his mind like a loop, like a tape recorder. For the boy, it was everything. The statement kept looping like a tape recorder in his head. How is it possible? It was like it was like a lap in the pool, back and forth, back and forth. It wasn't just a conversation, but a commitment. It was a promise. It was a challenge. For him, it was a dare. The boy had years watching at looking in that lake, looking at that statue, looking at the swimmers. Now the boy had to swim. The battle begins. How do you chase a dream when you don't even know how to start? The boy started trying on his own. I'll swim on my own. Failed. He tried reaching out to different coaches. He kept changing his coaches. Failed. And then the boy doubted himself. But the statement echoed louder than those doubts and it kept playing. Next year, तुझे swim करना है राजा भोज statue तक. Next year, you have to swim along to King Bho's statue. He gasped for breath while swimming, swallowing more water than air. His arms ached, his legs flailed. All the despair, every stroke felt like a struggle. His dream was to hold and release the bubble. Several times, the thought of giving up came to his mind, but the echo of that conversation, the echo of that promise, it was louder than any despair. One day, the boy met a coach Coach Azaz Ahmed, a mentor, a guide, who saw potential in this boy because there was something tinkling in his eyes. And so the real training began. Drills and devotion, kicking and correction, breathing and bravery. It was all mixed up, and everybody around witnessed the commitment to swim. Coach Azaz Ahmed also left no stone unturned. He had unusual patience with the students, and the boy was trained to swim and soar high. But then destiny had something else in its course. The boy's 12-month commitment, I will swim till there. Life happens, and it happened. COVID 2020, COVID 2020 happened. And everything came to a stillness. It delayed his dream to swim there. People were not allowed to step out of their houses. How can he step into the lake to swim? The boy didn't quit. Possibly it wasn't about the commitment within a year, but a commitment to a swim journey to King Bho's statue. Now, the triumph day. The boy became more than a dreamer. Year 2022, fast forward, something incredible happened. The same lake where the boy once sat and watched, admiringly, glancing, captivated, gazing with a desire to swim, he swam to the other side of the lake to King Bho's statue, the same water that once scared him. And today the boy looked into the eyes of water and said, I'm coming to conquer you. The fear melted like ice. It melted like ice with the fire in the heart of that boy. The fire to cross the lake. And the boy stepped into the water. He swam, not just a few meters, not to prove anything, but to have that contentment, that satiation. Hey, the story doesn't end here. Life is a full circle. Today, the boy at the shore is not just a swimmer or someone who just, sitting at the stairs. The boy became a mentor, a guide, a coach. He has become a dream giver. Just the way he was given one dream by Brigadier Joshi, the boy began sharing the dreams of the other people in the city. A ripple effect was created. He encourages others to get into the water. He sees himself in every hesitant beginner. He remembers the struggle of every breathless attempt. Giving up on your dreams is the only contempt. When he sees someone sitting on the shore on those red brick stairs where he once sat, watching the swimmer with those longing eyes, he walks up to the swimmer, walks up to that boy, and what does he say? Next year, तुझे 7 swim करना है Raja Bhoj statue तक. Next year, you have to swim till King Bhoj's statue. And the cycle begins again for yet another boy at the shore. Because dreams don't come to stop at fulfillment. They continue when you help others to fulfill theirs. I have talked a lot about the boy at the shore. Would you like to know the name of the boy who sat once at the shore? Let me tell you his name. His name is Zamran Hussain. And now he has become Coach Zamran, who smiles at the boys at the shore saying, next year, you have to swim till King Bho's statue. Let me share some facts about Zamran. Against all the odds as on today, he has more than 475 swimming sessions done, a total distance of 4,95,650 meters of swim. That means almost 500 meters of swim. The boy at the shore, Zamran, today, he stands taller. He stands committed to increasing the open water community in the city, teaching more people to swim, fulfilling their dreams. He is Zamran. I'm showing you the picture right now. He is now an Ironman. As I shared earlier, he knew running and cycling, but not swimming. He's a triathlete where an athlete has to swim a course of 2.4 miles in open water, 112 mile bicycle ride, and a 26.2 full marathon run for a total distance of 140.6 miles within a cutoff time of 17 hours. And this is world's longest one-day sport. In these competitions, lately he swam in Italy in an Ironman event, a distance of 3,900 meters he covered in 1 hour 38 minutes. And it's his personal best swim. Now he dedicated his personal best to Brigadier Joshi, who now lives in the spirit with the athlete. Now, the picture that you are seeing is the wife of the Brigadier, Poonam Joshi, and Zamran has dedicated his swim to him. It was the 5th May 2019 when the golden words were spoken to him. Next year, you have to swim till the Raja Bhoj statue. And since then, the bubbles in the deep water were held and released with his commitment, dedication, resilience, and willpower. Zamran, you can see this is the picture. Zamran has also swum in the same lake, a distance of 5 kilometers also. Now, the boy at the shore once swims to King Bose statue several times. He has become the king of his own life in the deep water. So today, anyone who is listening and has a longing, a dream, if you're standing at a shore, nothing can stop you, but it's just yourself. Grab your dreams. That bubble needs to be released forever. We are different people. I'm from India. You are listening in somewhere, South Africa or Africa. We are different countries. But possibly there is a boy listening, the boy at the shore, and wondering how to hold the bubble. Remember, deep water will always be there. But no water is deep enough in the world if you learn to swim. So learn to swim. Thank you so much for listening patiently to this story. I would like to stop the sharing of the screen. I hope you
Ah,
enjoyed the story.
thank you so much.
Yes, we did.
Thank you so much, Deepti. Wow, absolutely amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for that lovely story. Just a story about courage and never giving up. I want to open it up to anybody in the chat. Anybody in the chat, if you have a question or you have something to say to Dipti, now is your chance. Just unmute, or if you want to put your video on. A beautiful, absolutely beautiful story. Thank you so much for just giving us that courage and inspiration. Um, I have somebody from Fortune, Gugu Mabuza, saying, I really enjoyed it. Um, Thank you so much, Google. And we also recognize everybody else who's here. Westrand Young Guitarist is saying, thank you very much. Really encouraging and motivating. Um, I see we've also got people from India, if I'm not mistaken. Punam Joshi,
Zamran himself is here, Quenele, and he is
Zamran.
Zamran Hussain,
And the story
who
was about
was the boy
Zamran.
at the shore once. We have Poonam Joshi with us. She's the wife of the
Wow.
brigadier, and
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
he lives in spirit with us. So there is this purpose of sharing this story.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. If there's any other questions, I see in the people are chatting. Ketu Metse, also from Acid saying thank you for the beautiful story. Maybe does anybody want to say something? Punam, do you want to say something? Zamran, do
Yeah,
you
I'll
want
take
to
a
say
minute.
something?
So what I want to say is, Deepti, thank you for sharing the story, because the real stories of real heroes are often left unheard. And once you hear, the inspiration is tremendous, because we do read about heroes from the past, But when you see a human hero right next to you, I think that's real inspiration. And a commoner, just like you and me, who did not know anything. So I think most of us, these youngsters here today, would agree with me that
Mm,
we do have so many dreams, but we do not have the courage to fulfill them.
mm,
Sometimes one kind word can be very, very motivational. So, with that, I think most of you here can actually ask questions from Zamran. What changed the course of his life?
mm.
Because you're all young people. Why don't you speak to him? I just have this to say that it was a beautiful story, and I have seen this story. I have lived this story. I've been a part of this story.
Mm.
So, it's a special story for me. Thank you, Deepti, for sharing. And thank you for getting Deepti here for this beautiful story. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, I have a question for Zamran. What made you, leave the show? What was the thing that made you leave the show? Like, how does this really impact, how did this impact you?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, please pardon.
We can hear you, Zamra.
I think you're unmute, you can unmute. Yes. Now you can try again.
I haven't listened the question because it's very much noisy here outside. So please, somebody paraphrase it once again.
Oh, I was saying, how does this story, what message do you want to leave with us in South Africa? What message do you want to leave in with us in Africa?
Yeah. Thank you so much, first of all, for sharing this story with everyone, Deepti and Poonam, Brigadier Rajesh Joshi, ma'am, and everyone who is organizing it. Thanks a lot for sharing this story. This is a true story of mine in which Brigadier's word helped me a lot to chase my dreams. So my message, in short, is that if you have a dream, do not leave it. Just try to chase it, and if once you chase it, try to give your dreams to others, and stay humble always, so that you can make others. You can feel happiness in seeing others realizing the same dream. So you can live the same dream a number of times through others also.
Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Zamran, for your story. Thank you, Dipti, for sharing this with us. Um, Especially also saying inspirational indeed. Uketi was saying, this reminds me of a quote, however tired you might get, don't stop moving. Um, Maybe as we close it off, I just want to ask everybody from South Africa, if you are in this live, maybe let's see your face. Let me see your face and just say thank you to Dipti, who's all the way in India. Let's give her back the love that she's given us. Um, yes. We see everybody now. There we go. This is all the love from South Africa, Dipti, and to you, Zamran. Thank you so much for your story and the inspiration. We really appreciate, and we won't forget this day, the World Day Theatre for Young Children. That is it from Acid Edge. Dipti, do you want to close it off and say something else before we go?
I think deep water, the last statement that I made through the story, that deep waters will always be there. We only need to learn to swim. We all of us, wherever we are, we all have our struggles. Just keep going. Nothing can stop you from, flying. Last in our first meeting, Quenelle, when I said, I'm as good as you are as good as I am. The only difference that we can make is like doing, and doing. So thank you so much for having us from India, Zamran, Poonam Joshi madam, and myself. We really thank you, the entire community of this Esitage, that you were humble enough to listen to the story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. In isiZulu, in our language, we say siyabonga, which is thank you. In Sesotho, it's kyaliboga, right, guys? Yes, kyaliboga. So
Yes,
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
You got it
kyaliboga.
right.
Thank you so much, Deepti. And that's it for today. We will post this up and
Natsi
thank you so much.
siyabonga. That's
Siyabonga,
Swati.
siyabonga, Deepti.
Siyabonga.
Goodbye for now.
Enkosi.
Siyathokoza.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste from India.
Namaste.
Namaste.